Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence and welcome back to another video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at a fragrance by the company Guerlain. And this one is called La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto. So make sure to stay tuned. This fragrance was released in 2017, and the perfumer behind this fragrance is obviously the in-house perfumer for Guerlain, who is Thierry Vasser. Now, before I begin, I do want to say that some of you probably heard me talk about this fragrance in my December bundle for the company Max Aroma, where you purchase these 8 ml travel atomizers, and it's 3 of them together. And so I made a top 5 cherry fragrances list, and I actually included this in the list because I love this as a cherry-driven and cherry dominant fragrance. And so with that said, I actually reached out to Max Aroma and I asked them if they wouldn't mind if I review this fragrance for my channel. And so they actually sent me this bottle. And so I did want to disclose that before I started the review. Now, I am a huge fan of the House of Guerlain. They're one of the original houses. They have a very rich heritage, and they've been around for almost 200 years. Obviously, they've had a lot of perfumers working for them. They have over 400 fragrances, if I'm not mistaken. And they're really known for having their own plantations where they raise their own ylang-ylang, among other ingredients. And so this being a more contemporary release is actually a flanker of a fragrance called La Petite Robe Noire. And so this being the Black Perfecto version actually takes it in a darker, richer direction. And so when you look at the note breakdown, it has like leather, it has cherry, almond, so a lot of sweet, sensual, and decadent notes. And so that's what initially piqued my interest. And so I wanted to see how they were going to express that cherry almond vibe, and if it was going to have any similarities with like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. So I'm going to tell you what I think of the smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. So I do apologize for the box on this one. I actually did a little bit of traveling with it, but this is the box. It comes with this black box with just a label here on the front. It has the name of the fragrance. On the very bottom of the box, you can see the serial number punched into the box next to the UPC. On the back of the box, you have some information about the fragrance with the ingredients all the way at the bottom. And the top of the box just has the Guerlain logo. The bottle is all black and it has a very unique design to it that's been used by other Guerlain bottles in the past. There's a sticker on the bottom with the serial number printed in black ink if you're looking to authenticate your purchase. The cap for this fragrance clicks into place very securely. You can pick it up from the cap, and the distribution on the atomizer is nice and wide. Let's continue with the smell. So as soon as this fragrance opens up, you are going to get this robust cherry note. And I like the cherry that's used in here because it's not an overly sweet, syrupy, or viscous cherry, but there's a really nice complexity to this fragrance. It's a fragrance that's not easily understood. So once you put your nose on it, it's not the end of the road. There's still quite a long journey to be taken before you fully understand all of the little gears in this fragrance that allow it to tick. But it's this combination of cherry and almond that really appeals to me. And so there's another Guerlain fragrance that I speak about quite extensively on my channel, and that's L'Homme Idéal, which means the ideal man. This fragrance, La Petite Robe Noire, means the little black dress. And so they have this unifying almond note, and the eau de parfum takes it in a more cherry direction. And so I think that that's why a lot of people are comparing this one to L'Homme Idéal eau de parfum online. However, I do feel as though this takes it in just a little bit more of an oriental direction, whereas L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum takes it in a more contemporary, masculine, sweet direction. So if you've observed kind of like the sweet trend on the designer market as of late, I feel as though that's what the men's version tries to express. This one, on the other hand, it has some floral nuances in there, but they're quite nondescript, and so it's not really anything that pops out at you. It certainly has this sweetened cherry vibe that lingers, but it adds this overtone of sensuality to the fragrance that I really do enjoy. In the dry down, I must say that some oriental nuances start to come through. So it's a little ambery with an emphasis on vanilla. Perhaps there's a bit of a resinous component as well. I don't know if it's benzoin or labdanum. And I also am picking up on a little bit of like a patchouli warmth underneath, but it's not overly aggressive. And so I feel as though the main players of this fragrance are the cherry, the almond, and some of the more floral tonalities to the scent. In terms of the leather that's used in here, obviously, leather is a synthetic accord in all perfumes. There's no such thing as a real leather or natural leather. So it could be a variety of different, ingredients and elements that contribute to it, nagarmoda or saffron. And this one isn't spicy to my nose. This is a very easy, fun, yet dark and sensual composition. And I feel as though the leather in here is really hard to compare to any other leather fragrance on the market. So a Tuscan leather is more of like that ashy leather. And then you have like the Clive Christian leather, which is kind of a bit more on the aggressive side. And then you have the Pure Distance M, which is like the interior of an Aston Martin, like very luxurious smelling. I wouldn't go as far as saying that this smells of luxury, but it definitely has the sensual component to it that I think I really like. And so this is one that I would personally wear myself. In terms of cherry-based fragrances out there, I think there are some other options that smell more like the note of cherry. And so, for example, there is a fragrance by the company called Ikirio. It's called Lucidite. There's also Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. And there's even a Banana Republic fragrance that actually takes a dark cherry nuance and partners it up with like an ambery undertone, and I feel like it's really nicely done. A little bit more designer smelling, but nevertheless it gets the job done. And so if you're a woman who's looking for something that could withstand some colder temperatures, something that you can wear on a night out, and something that conveys this sort of flirtatious quality or like sensuality, I think you would really enjoy La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto by Guerlain. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So in assessing this fragrance, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall smell first. And despite the fact that I did mention some other fragrances throughout the course of this review, I still find this one to be quite unique. If you do a side-by-side with any other fragrance, this one doesn't come close. Maybe there's like one or two familiar elements that might warrant a comparison, but at the end of the day, it's its own being and it has its own identity, which I really appreciate. The overall smell, again, it's one that's very easy to get along with. It's not a challenging fragrance by any means. In terms of the longevity, it's quite solid. I got about 8 hours on my skin. Projection was great for the first 2 to 2.5 hours. It didn't become a skin scent up until about the 5.5 to 6 hour mark. And so the projection is really good. And that's given the fact that there aren't a whole lot of top notes in here. So it's not like an overdose of citrus or anything like that. And I feel as though that's also something that adds to the scent, that this is a more linear fragrance as opposed to it being non-linear and progressing and changing and shifting and doing all these things on your skin. Pretty much what you get in the dry down will be like 75 to 80% similar from what you got in the opening of the fragrance. So please do keep that in mind, or at least that's what my nose is able to perceive. As far as the versatility of this fragrance is concerned, I would wear it in every season except for the summer. I feel like perhaps that cherry almond leather combination might be a little bit too strong for some people, but I can see this one being worn on a night out. And given the price tag, I know Max Aroma has it for a pretty affordable price. You can also afford to wear this one casually as well. In terms of the presentation for this one, I actually really enjoy the presentation. I know it's rather simple, but Guerlain bottles always have an iconic look to them that is unmatched. And so my final verdict for this fragrance is, if you are in the market for a cherry-based scent that doesn't let the cherry dominate, but accentuates it with all of these other really nicely done notes like leather and almond and some florals and oriental tendencies, and if you're looking for something that smells flirtatious and sensual, I think this is a really solid option. And of course, I would love to smell this on my wife. I don't know if she's going to be a fan of it because she has very specific tastes, but nonetheless, I do enjoy it as a fragrance, and it's one that I wear from time to time as well. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of La Petite Robe Noire Black Perfecto by Guerlain. If you own or have tried this fragrance, I would love to know what you think. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Also, if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video, I would love it and appreciate it if you could support this channel by subscribing to it. It's easy and it's free. All you got to do is click that red button in the corner, and this way, whenever I do upload future fragrance-related content, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future uploads. And of course, that includes fragrance reviews just like this, top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, interviews, and a whole lot more. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye.